Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one of RVN's new television shows, What the Why, with host Barbara Ann, otherwise known as me. Our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do, and more importantly, how they figured out what it is that they were meant to do. Maybe you're looking for something different in your life or career. Maybe you feel stuck and you want to get unstuck. Maybe you found us by accident. Whatever led you here, this show is for you. You were meant to find this show. And thank you for tuning in. Our guest today is Michelle Snow. She's the Platinum Connect and Vision Performance Coach, formerly known as Career Coach on Duty. She's based in Philadelphia. Michelle is a philanthropist, an award-winning coach. She's the president and executive consultant for multiple companies, including her new nonprofit, the Grow with Snow Foundation. Her purpose is helping people turn potential into power, something she knows all too well on a personal level. Michelle originally pivoted to entrepreneurship in 2010 with the purpose of serving young adult mentors in professional and leadership development. Shortly after, she found herself fighting for her life as she was incapacitated with the shocking diagnosis of sarcoidosis, a disease that causes unbearable pain. Doctors told her that she'd be fine in about 15 to 20 years. Because by then, the disease could reverse itself. But Michelle spent a lot of time in prayer and held on to optimism and hope, because that's what she embodies. And in less than 6 months, she fully recovered. So much for that 15 to 20 years. Today, Michelle and her companies continue to stretch their borders. She's an expert in leadership and professional development for educational institutions, corporations, businesses, and the community as a whole. She has a Bachelor of Science in Business Management and Human Resources and multiple certifications. And those amazing talents have not gone unnoticed. She's been recognized by Forbes, the Philadelphia City Council, the Philadelphia Department of Commerce, Philly Tribune, Philadelphia Magazine, Ladders, and more. She's endorsed by Scoop USA and Fun Times Magazine. So without further ado, please welcome my guest, Michelle Snow.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's sometimes so difficult to hear your own story, right? So you sit here just holding your breath, but thank you for telling it.
Absolutely. And there's so much more to tell, even just based on what I read. So let's get started with one of our signature questions, the questions that my first guest told me to ask her, and then her response was, I have no idea. So, what did you want to be when you grew up?
It was very simple. Okay, let me tell you that. It was very simple. My initial dream was that I would be a secretary, right? Okay. And so in my last years of high school, I dressed up in my little church suits and my knee-high stockings and my pretend briefcase, and everybody in the school called me, there she is, Miss Secretary, which was a big deal, quite frankly, at that time. So that was my first dream.
Oh my gosh, that is so adorable. So how did you make the leap from your little briefcase, looking all professional, wanting to be a secretary, to being one of the go-to leaders in the entrepreneurship community in the greater Philadelphia area?
Well, I think because I hadn't had much exposures to different careers, right? Okay. My family were day workers. No one in my immediate family went to college. So I knew that I wanted to work somewhere that was an office environment. And my very first full-time job, Barbara, was the Pep Boys corporate office.
Really?
Everybody else was working at Roy Rogers and the supermarket. I was the only kid who got a job at the Pep Boys corporate office.
Wow.
And in my first week, I met the president So to answer your question, the journey was that I wanted to be in big business, but I didn't know what that meant at that time.
Okay. Wow. That is big for somebody that's just getting started. So you're working in the Pep Boys corporate office. And was there anybody in particular that you kind of reached out to that maybe helped you or mentored you in that environment, or even outside of that environment, to help you figure out what next is part of your journey?
Well, that particular place of employment had a culture of what I would call today real people. Okay. They had not fallen into the masking. These were professional people who, what I think, kept it real. And I remember one day having a really bad day, and I was just really antsy and just self-absorbed. And my coworker, she was a much older woman, she said, "Quit. There's a whole universe out there. Okay. You don't like what you're doing here? Then quit. Leave." So, wait, you're not giving me a pity party? This is not a pep talk? And it shocked me so that that just helped me to just stay grounded a bit.
Okay. Wow. So what did you do?
I did not quit that day.
Okay.
Because I started to count up the cost. Mm-hmm. But what I did see was that I didn't have to be hostage to one path, that there were other things that I could do. And so I'm so grateful that I had the chance in coming out of high school, working in big business, having a chance to meet some of the most amazing people in the world, having good days and bad days, because quite frankly, it set the stage for who I am today, which is helping people to find their path, employment or job or business. So it really was the stage.
That's, wow, to have that kind of experience at such a young age. So you're at Pep Boys, you have realized that you have this passion. You decide to go to school.
Yes.
And talk to me about how you decided to choose business management and human resources as the path for you.
Well, I am what I like to identify as a spoiled only child. My mother did raise a wonderful young man, but I'm the only biological child, and I was torn between the antics of being animated and demonstrative and making people laugh, or business. Okay. So I took 2 part-time jobs at the same time. One was being an actor.
Wow. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, I never told them my story. This is actually the first time I'm telling it.
Oh, so there you go. You got it first.
An exclusive.
An exclusive. Michelle Snow was an actor. Okay.
Right. So I took the part-time jobs as an actor. At the same time, I took a business job. And I got them both, and both asked to keep me.
Wow.
And so I was literally at a crossroad. But I felt like the business was where I could be the most successful. So here we are.
Okay. So you've decided you are going to be all about entrepreneurship. And then the diagnosis.
So I, at the time, had the pleasure of working in corporate America for some time. And that was where I like to call where I got my wings. The economy changed and I was downsized. So I'm home and I am bitter. I'm frustrated, I'm embarrassed, I'm sad, I'm angry as all get out, right? We're on TV, so I'll call it get out.
Get out,
And so I wake up one day and can't breathe. Literally, I can't breathe, I can't get up, I can't walk, and I am terrified. We call 911, and the ambulance driver is saying things like, well, maybe it's clots, maybe it's AIDS. We went from me not breathing to clots to AIDS. Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Fast forward. The emergency room said, oh, this is just a bad case of pneumonia. You'll be fine. By the time I get home and get settled, they called back and said, oh no, that's not pneumonia, it's sarcoidosis. You should go get further evaluations. So, sarco what? What did you say? Sarcoidosis. And that was the time, Barbara, where the world-renowned Bernie Mac had just lost his life to sarcoidosis. So that's all I knew, and that's all anyone knew.
That must have been so
No one knew
terrifying.
anything different. And so anytime I would tell a family or a friend what was the situation, they all said, well, be careful. You know, Bernie Mac died from that. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
That's really encouraging. But here is the good news. While that period of time was daunting, terrible, devastating, physically, emotionally, socially painful, I had to move out of my home into my grandmother's home with Mom because I was disabled, right? I could walk. It's not that it was like that, but the pain was so terrible that walking was extremely difficult. Breathing was poor, and just getting myself from the bed to the bathroom, awful. And I remember studying devotion, and the verse said to me that I could have whatever I wanted if I was to forgive. Now keep in mind, I was really angry. Remember, I'd been laid off.
Sure. That is a lot for one person. I mean, you basically went through all of the major stressors in one foul swoop. Loss of job, loss of housing, health issues. I mean,
Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, bam.
And because we don't have enough time in this show to talk about my personal life. So personally, I was also facing some real steep challenges. And so now I'm reading, well, wait, I can have anything meaning healing. But I'm right. They were wrong. I had righteous indignation, right? I was right. So forgiving them was not an easy choice. So I had to decide, do you want to be right and possibly lose your life, or forgive and maybe live?
Okay, so we're going to continue with this story after our break and find out how Michelle found the power to forgive. Welcome back to What the Why with host Barbara Ann and today's guest, Michelle Snow, who was just telling us about an amazing health situation that you found yourself in, and then it's God speaking to you.
Absolutely.
To tell you to find a way to forgive.
Well, there's a verse that tells us it was good that I was afflicted, which sounds incredibly ridiculous until you live through it.
Yeah.
So I'm at this crossroad, and I'm making a decision about whether or not it's worth it forgiving to maybe live. I did choose to forgive, which was a very difficult decision, but being down on my back for 6 months, disabled, having to depend on Mom and Grandma to take care of me, no income, no story, just pain. It was the absolute best thing that has ever happened to me, because it was in that time that I was able to make a decision about where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And in that, I saw the light. In that, I really wanted to be a vehicle to help people to overcome pain, hardship, feeling lost and alone, and to, quite frankly, just stop a lot of bad behavior, stinking thinking, right? I mean, almost dying
Yes.
does a whole lot for how you see things.
It really does. And in fact, someday maybe I'll flip the switch and I'll have you come back and I'll be the guest and you can ask me about my journey, because there's some parallels there that are very interesting.
I like that.
And it is all about mindset and choice and belief and hope.
Absolutely.
And faith. So 6 months you heal and you go right back in you decide entrepreneurship's still where I want to be. Where did you find the courage to do that? I mean, you've already been through so much. There are some out there that would be like, okay, I'm cutting my losses, I'm good. But that's not what you did. You were like, okay, they tried to put me down, I'm now over it. I'm going to take it up a whole other level.
Well, I had to forgive some things, but still, they say that success is the best revenge.
Yes.
And there was a gentleman from Seattle, and he says, you know, there are a lot of people who, he says, especially men, who may be afraid to tell you this. He says, but we really do admire you, but you also terrify us. And he says, I think you can do whatever you want. And that was a huge motivator. And so I took a leap of faith 9 years ago. 9 years ago, this month, actually. And has it been incredibly difficult? Yes. But has it been so rewarding and beautiful? Absolutely. It has been wonderful. Probably the best thing I've ever done in my life.
And you have an army behind you almost. So can you talk a little bit about what you do in all of the different enterprises that you operate, and some of the partnerships that you have?
Well, Michelle Snow is what I like to call a brand, right? And Snow actually is an acronym. People don't even know that. SNOW is sharing news and opportunities with winners. And that's my lifestyle. Who can I serve, provide a solution to, uplift, celebrate, or share? And in that, our first company serves corporations where if they're looking for leadership or team development, executive coaching. And of course, people like to call me in because I'm a great motivator.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we're either doing that for students in schools or corporations. What I'm probably the most passionate about with the entrepreneurship is there are so many people with great genius ideas who just need a path. And somebody's saying, you can do it. Or did you do what I said to get to what you want, right? And so I'm a cheerleader, I'm an ambassador, I'm an advocate, I'm a coach. I'm all of the things that people desire in what will it take to help me to win? And that's my spiritual calling, my life's work. And in that, I don't enjoy just having people get the service and sending them off. So we have the foundation. How do we keep a relationship? Finding them additional resources and helping them through crisis. And if I can say, through the pandemic, people had crisis.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Death, more death. Loss of business, mortgages, everything. So we found funding and resources to continue those relationships so that those dreamers could still keep going.
And you did some really great things in terms of pitch competitions and other things. And you want to talk a little bit about that? Because that was new.
Right.
That was a new thing for you to get into.
Well, that's a result. That's one of the many things that we do for our clients, right? So what is unique about being a part of the SNOW brand is it's more so look at all these great people I'm associated with. So the pitch contest was with this amazing new Got It Together group, GOD, Got It Together. And so, right? You see what you went with that, right?
Yes, I do now, yes. Okay.
So I was there as a keynote and as a host, and two of my client members entered the contest. And I had nothing to do with the judging. I just did what I did before. And one of my client members won. She got that big check for $5,000. The other one was given a cash gift. So, I mean, we literally work with so many organizations, definitely in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, but now we're spreading our wings.
Yeah, I've seen your reach is definitely broader than I guess the Delaware Valley area.
And now, because we have to stay creative and innovative, we are now partnering with a brand new coin. We're moving into the crypto space.
Oh my gosh, I did not. So more breaking news.
This is, I haven't told anyone.
Oh my gosh.
No one knows but you, so you know the first time.
Okay, viewers, you heard it first. She's entering the cryptocurrency marketplace. And if anybody's going to make that happen, it's going to be you. So please tell us more.
So one of the challenges that people in crypto find is that it can seem really complex. Building a wallet, and you can't just transfer funds, you can't just order it.
I know, and I've studied it. I mean, I'm very familiar with blockchain and everything, and it's like, it's evolving so rapidly.
It is, and it's got some wonderful, wonderful super highs, and it's got some really daunting lows. So one of our new client members just presented an offer I couldn't refuse. We're still working on our full launch, but I do have permission to say that we are the first company in the world where you're going to be able to buy cryptocurrency and hold it. And it is on a certificate that cannot be broken into. So just like we had bonds, and you would save a bond for 15 years and it would turn into $100 or whatever, you can get a crypto certificate, put that money on it, and hold it and lock it. No one has anything like it.
That is awesome. And you all heard it here first. And of course, your contact information is going to be available at the end. So if anybody wants to learn more about what you're doing in that arena, please, definitely, you're going to want to reach out to Michelle. So, wow, so many things. Since I can't even think of what question to ask you next, if there was a question that you would want me to ask you, what question would that be?
Well, in thinking about the people who we serve, people see, oh, you're award winning. Oh, you've got this new business. Oh, you've been seen by City Hall and other officials. But there's always a backstory. And the backstory is that when you find influencers who seem to be thriving, we are still real girls and real guys who have the same everyday issues. We still cry. As a matter of fact, last week, I was so upset about a business matter that I sat in my bedroom on the edge of the bed and just let out a big one, like a 22-minute long, ugly.
Yeah, but you know what? It's that authenticity and that vulnerability that you're willing to display that is one of the reasons why you are such a phenomenal and inspirational leader.
Thank you. I want people to understand that it does get better and you will begin to see the results you dreamed of, but nevertheless, the pain and the difficulties, they still come.
They do. And we are out of time. I'm like, the more I get into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we've done it. So thank you so much for coming over here from Philadelphia, for participating in this conversation and being the amazing leader and inspiration that you are. You will be able to reach Michelle through her LinkedIn contact information, which will be posted at the end of the show. You can also email her at Michelle with 2 L's at growwithsnow.com. And Michelle is one of the latest in some really great guests, and we have even other guests lined up for you that are different than Michelle, but they're also still really interesting guests. I don't want to minimize them in any way. And our guest for next week is a good friend as well as an amazing leader. Her name is Elaine McLean, and she's the regional director at the New Jersey Small Business Development Center at Rutgers, New Brunswick, and she's also president at ESME Market Specialists LLC. She is a multifaceted marketing expert who's worked in special projects that involve healthcare, such as diabetes, obesity, and sickle cell anemia, repositioning of food chain. She's worked in the cosmetics and the beauty industry. She's a writer. She does, you name it, she does it, and you really don't want to miss what she has to say. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. live, and then on Mondays at 3:30 p.m., and is also available on demand through RVN TV and Roku. Thank you again for joining us today. Whether you're looking to make a change big or small in your life or career, please join us for more inspirational and informative conversations with guests like Michelle, who wanted to make changes, overcome their fears and obstacles to find their core purpose in life, and more importantly, to live it.